All throughout human history are references and mentions of incredible cities that litter the world only to never be found even in the modern day with the usage of state-of-the-art archaeological techniques and satellite imagery. These cities are often regarded as lost cities that, though there is debate on whether or not they once truly existed, are more than just myth and legend and are regarded by many different people and cultures from around the world. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be going over 4 mysterious and lost cities that could still be out there and what it would mean to find them. The Lost City of Gold, El Dorado. Argued by many different historians and archaeologists from around the world that this city is nothing more than an old myth and legend for amateur treasure hunters and adventuring enthusiasts, the Lost City of Gold, known as El Dorado, is still widely debated in its existence and purpose in history. This has changed in recent times as a variety of long-believed mythical cities built by many different tribes of Native Americans have been discovered hidden deep in the South American jungles that otherwise could not be spotted by even the best satellite technology of the modern era. This does not mean that the city has only been a difficult task for modern-day archaeologists and researchers, as myths of the city has led countless men throughout the 16th and 17th century to a hopeless end. Originally, legends told of an entire functioning city built from the ground up out of pure gold and fabulous jewels located somewhere at the tops of the remote Andes Mountains in the region that is now present-day Colombia. Interestingly enough, when the first European settlers visited the region, they found the remnants of a tribe located at Lake Guatavita that would celebrate every year by conducting a strange ceremony. This tribe believed there to be a god living at the bottom of the lake, and so would cover a man in gold dust before having him throw all the gold and precious jewels they had harvested that year into the lake in order to appease the god that lived in the water. This ritual continued for what was believed to be centuries. However, when the settlers searched the lake, they only found a small amount of gold and treasure that should have more than filled the area. It was then believed that perhaps the City of Gold, called El Dorado, which is a name that refers to a gilded man covered from head to toe in gold dust, was created by the gold in the lake. A few centuries thereafter, many went in search for this mysterious city, but nothing more was ever found. Since archaeologists in the modern era have combed the lake, they found intricately made gold artifacts and jewels that many ancient astronaut theorists argue could have been created with knowledge of advanced technologies. This has led many to speculate that perhaps the god living in the water were real beings and that they could have been the original creators of the City of Gold hidden somewhere in the Andes Mountains. Still, nothing more has been discovered in recent years, and given the dangers of the region and the political instability of the government, further exploration of the area is nearly impossible to accomplish. The underground city of Aztlán. One of the most impressive and powerful empires to come out of all of South America was the Empire of the Aztecs, that saw the ancient civilization become an almost overwhelming presence throughout the entire region. The Aztecs formed the central hub for their city in what is now modern-day Mexico City, and has been the topic of a wide variety of archaeological discussions. It appears that the early tribal civilization had produced a wide variety of technological breakthroughs for their time, including a complex and detailed calendar with an accurate map of the constellations, as well as specialized crafts in ceramics, featherwork, and early developments of a written language and higher education. Interestingly enough, even though a tremendous amount of information regarding the old civilization is recorded deep throughout their mythologies and historical records, not much is known in the modern day about where the tribe originally came from or what changes they had undergone comparing to neighboring tribes. It became obvious to the first European settlers that the Aztec tribe had a strange culture and religion that focused around an almost apocalyptic scenario, and would often engage in strange human sacrifices to appease their gods in fear of what would soon become of them if they did not perform these ritualistic sacrifices. It became obvious that wherever these original rituals came from, it did not completely originate solely from the Aztec Empire, and references in mythologies spoke of a land from which the tribes came from that most likely first spawned these ideas. The land was known as the Lost Land of Aztlán, which was said to have been the home to 7 different tribes that arose from the city known as the Place of 7 Caves. Each of these underground caves helped the different people in a safe and secluded location until they emerged into the world and became separate tribes and empires on their own, which seems to be eerily similar to the function of an underground bunker of some kind. Due to the mythologies ranging from each tribe regarding the origin land and where it could possibly be located, no one has been lucky enough to find it, and this wild goose chase has led many to believe that perhaps it is nothing more than a religious origin story with no basis in historical fact. Until more can be discovered and additional translations of the mythologies can be found, it appears these cities and lands will be locked away, impossible to find underground. The sunken land of the Lyonesse. The old legends of King Arthur are widely seen by historians as nothing more than common folklore, whereas others argue the viability and historical significance of the reign of such a British leader centuries in the past. Despite this debate on whether or not a king of the same name ruled during the 5th and early 6th century, defending against Saxon invaders, ever actually existed in the first place, there appears to be overwhelming proof that the discussed locations in old literary works surrounding the legends were based off of actual cities and real-world locations. This has led many different archaeological teams and hopeful enthusiasts on a wild goose chase in order to recover the many different artifacts and abandoned cities mentioned in the legends in the hopes of not just proving the historical significance of the story, but to uncover rich treasures otherwise completely forgotten. Though many cities have already been discovered, there is still one massively elusive find still waiting to be rediscovered. This highly sought-after rediscovery is referred to as the Lost Land of Lyonesse. It was believed to contain over 140 different small villages, and most likely resides somewhere on the coast of the European countries. Unfortunately, historical accounts surrounding the land speculated that something similar to that of a large tsunami came in and destroyed the collection of different villages before it sunk the majority of the land into the ocean, so that nothing could ever be recovered. Given the fact that there are so many different discoveries of ancient cities found off the coast of islands such as Japan and Cuba, it could very well be a possibility that these areas were once a part of larger coasts that sank after an earthquake or tsunami hit the area. Discovering this lost land of the Lyonesse could help not only prove the validity of the Arthurian legends, but also help to shed some light on the developments of early 4th and 5th century empires throughout Europe at the time. The buried desert cities of Dubai. Although Dubai is recognized as one of the greatest modern cities in the world, filled with expensive luxuries and modern designs, the country of the United Arab Emirates believes that within its borders may exist an untold number of buried civilizations lost in the deserts surrounding their cities. The prime target of these buried civilizations is the long-lost medieval city of Julfar, of which many archaeologists have acknowledged the viability of its existence and is seen as one of the most famous lost cities in Arabia. During the 10th century all the way up until the 14th century, the city of Julfar underwent an incredible golden age, which led to the development of the city into becoming the trade hub of the entire southern Gulf Arabic trade during the Middle Ages. This meant that not only was the city being more than 1,000 years old at the time of its disappearance, the city of the Arabic trading world, but held a massive reservoir of information, historical significance and unrecovered artifacts that could paint the most complete picture of the Muslim Golden Age to date. Evidence of the city of Julfar revere the site as being able to trade with areas as far away as India and the Far East on a routine basis, and had developed extensive trading routes all throughout the Persian Gulf. Not much is known today as to where this city might reside or what could have caused the disappearance of the city on such a massive scale, but back in the early 1960s, Many archaeologists and researchers speculated that the coasts of the United Arab Emirates could be the last piece of the puzzle in the search for the long-lost city buried beneath the vast deserts in the region. Unfortunately for researchers, efforts to excavate certain sites are blocked under the bureaucracy of the UAE government, which has stalled further efforts to uncover these secrets. Until more can be done, we will just have to wait and see what the desert sands naturally reveal. But what do you all think of these strange and mysterious lost cities that are still trying to be uncovered by archaeologists and researchers to this day? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.